Hello, children. That's the chef children, not the three dog children. All of which you sensitive fraggy vaggies out there. We're not children. It's like that's because you're uncultured. You don't know where it comes from. All right. We have a Clarey test request on three of the great modern economists, only unfortunately one of which is still alive. Walter E. Williams, Thomas Sowell, and Milton Friedman. So let's grab Walter E. Williams first. Born 1936, died last year. American Economist commentator, boopy-doo-boo-doo-boo, boopy-doo-boo-doo-boo, boopy-doo-boo-doo-boo. And I think he was the more charming and charismatic of the three. And born in Philly, 1936, his family during childhood consisted of his mother, his sister, and him. Williams' father played no role in raising Williams. And I said, "You're kidding, really? The father was not available for in Philadelphia?" Family lived okay, so he grew up poor. His neighbors included a young Bill Cosby. Who knew that? Williams knew many of the individuals that Cosby speaks of from his childhood, including Weird Harold and Fat Albert. Wow. Williams traveled to California to live with his father and attend Los Angeles for one semester. Later returned to Philadelphia, secured a job as a cab driver. In 1959, he was drafted in the military and served as a private in the United States military. All right, so he has real-world working experience. One man battle against Jim Crow from inside the Army, challenged the racial order to protect of students with all shoulders, resulted in an overseeing officer filing a court-martial proceeding. Williams found not guilty, found simple transfer to Korea. Okay, I'm just going to move on. Following military service, Williams served as a juvenile group supervisor, LA Probation Department, 63-67. Got himself a degree in economics in 1965. Okay, so he was a little bit older by that time. And so I'm trying to figure, we got to grandfather him under the boomer clause because any degree was a good degree back in 1965. Remember, you can't put a price on education. Where are you getting that mouth from? When I went to college in 1969. Ugh. So he doesn't have a word. Then he got both a master's and a PhD in economics at the University of California, Los Angeles. Doctoral thesis was low income marketplace. More sympathetic to Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Concerning ways that should be confronted. Boo. See, so then one from 70 something, 71. I do the math right. He was a professor, academic career, and I think he's just been a professor the entire time, which I kind of Then he ended up at George Mason, and I do remember saying, dang, I would like to take a class with him. One of the few professors I would like to take a class from. Wrote some books, did some research. All right, so we got that. Did not come from wealth, did not major in stupid crap. Has real world working experience. I guess, we'll forgive him because he had a tough go at it, military and then driving cab and all that other stuff. He has real world working experience. What's he doing now? Well, he's dead. He was a professor forever afterwards. Like, right. All right, you earned it. So he's got a perfect score. Would I like to have a beer with him? I don't think there's an economist I'd like to have a beer with more. And should he have ran for office? He most certainly should have. All right, let's do Thomas Sowell, the last of the three great tenors. Thomas Sowell. Where the hell's Wikipedia? Thank you, Internet. Common social theory. Born in North Carolina, grew up in Harlem, New York. Probably not rich. He dropped out of Stuyvesant High School and later served in the Marine Corps during the Korean War. Oh, is he older? Oh, he is. He's 3 years older than Thomas Sowell or Walter E. So real world working experience already. Enrolled at Harvard, graduating magna cum laude, 58. So yeah, he was a little bit older too. He was 28 when he received a master's degree at Columbia University, his doctorate in economics, University of Chicago. So he's older. I'm going to go with any degree, good degree back then. What did he major in? Worked civil service at the military, attended night classes at Howard University. What, mommy and daddy didn't pay for everything? You're not from Edina? Graduated a bachelor's of arts degree in economics, master's degree said he was a Marxist during the decade of my 20s. Accordingly, one of the earliest professional publications was sympathetic to Marxism. I do recall say, well, why'd you stop being a Marxist? He says, because of the facts. Doctorate economics career, 65 to 69, assistant professor, economics, teaching book, writing, wrote some books, still wrote a book. I mean, what, last year? So pretty much parallels that of Walter E. We did say he didn't have quite as much experience like driving cab as Walter E. did. And then became a lifelong academic. So he did not come from wealth. He did not major in stupid stuff for his age. What else? Real world working experience. And what did he do? Same thing. I prefer he did other things, but he was an academic. So a score of 0 again. Remember, the Clarey test is a golf score. You do not want points. Would I like to have a beer with him? Yes. I think with Walter, you'd like to have a whiskey with him, but Thomas Sowell, you want to have a beer with him. Should he have ran for office? Yes. And then Milton Friedman, Chicago School. He's the old one. Look at the nose on that guy. All right, there we go. Now, when was he born? 1912. Yeah, so he predated these guys by about 2 decades. Died 2006. American economist, statistician, won the Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences. Spoobity bobbity bobbity boo. Early life. Born in Brooklyn, New York. Parents Sarah Ethel and Gino Saul Friedman were Jewish immigrants from the Carpathian Ruthenia Kingdom of Hungary, now Ukraine. Worked as dry good merchants. Shortly after his birth, family relocated to Jersey, or his team injured in a car accident, which scarred his upper lip. A talented student, graduated from high school 28, just before his 16th birthday. Wow, I have a feeling he's going to be pigeonholed for academia. Received a competitive scholarship to Rutgers. He specialized in mathematics and economics. All right. Became influenced by 2 economic professors, Burns and Jones. Graduated in 32. And initially intended to become an actuary, but he was offered 2 scholarships to do graduate. See, that's how academia got him. That's how they got him. One for mathematics at Brown and the other at the Economics University of Chicago. He chose the latter, earning a Master of Arts degree in 1933. It took him a year to get his master's. Was he married only once? Yep. Married only once. Where have all the good men gone? Ooh, he's a conservative. Swipe left on Milton Friedman. Grody. His wife is also an economist. There you go. Hey, how you doing, Rose? Study statistics with see, now he studied all the hard stuff, but he didn't become an actuary. Unable to find academic employment, so in 1935 followed his friend W. Allen Wallace to Washington, D.C., where Franklin New Deal was a lifesaver for many young economists at this stage. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's in the throes of the Great Depression. Friedman said that he and his wife regarded job creation programs as appropriate responses to a critical situation, but not price 16. Okay, all right, for shit. What did you do? Did you work for the... I got to read this again. So he worked for the Civilian Conservation Corps, I guess. Okay, National Resource Planning Board, worked on large consumer budget survey. All right, so he started employment with National Bureau for Economic Research. All right, so he does have real world working experience. Okay, and then 1940, he was appointed assistant professor at University of Wisconsin, but it countered anti-Semitism in the economics department, returned to government service. He worked wartime tax policy. Was he too old to join? Worked in the Treasury department. He's just a real economics wonk. Academic career, 40, University of Wisconsin, Madison. Vision, Columbia, 1943. Okay, he worked as a statistician. He was a logistics supply guy, a stats guy for World War II. Okay, boy, that must have been some interesting research. 1946, he gets his PhD finally. Spent 1 year teaching at the University of Minnesota. Oh, gosh, what a worthless school. And his son was born in Minnesota. Oh, the poor boy. 46, goes to the University of Chicago. Okay, then his academic career started. All right, so he had some trials and tribulations. And he was only there, he was there for almost 30 years. Retired in 76. 30 years. He and his wife moved to San Francisco, became visiting scholar at the Federal Reserve, worked for some institutions, worked on a project, some broadcasts from public broadcasting stuff. Back when, could you imagine PBS publishing Free to Choose now? Worked as an advisor under Reagan. Boo-da-boo, boo-da-boo, boo-da-boo. All right. So he kind of dabbled in work even past retirement. So didn't come from wealth. Didn't major in stupid crap. Does have real world working experience. And died being an academic. Gets a zero. The three great tenors of economics all get perfect scores on the Clarey test. Would I like to have a beer with him? Yes. Should he have ran for office? Of course. Of course, that probably would have been one of the most ideal people to run for office, given his experience working in various positions within the government on various things. So there we go. Where am I? Here's my tab. Any super chats? No super chats. We're good to go, and we'll see you guys later. Toodles.